Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to make this little gingham pumpkin. So the colors I've chosen is, this is a Red Heart Soft Wine, Loops and Threads Pumpkin, Red Heart Comfort White, any scrap brown that you have, and any scrap green that you have. Doesn't matter if it's 4-weight or anything, it's just for the leaf. So now that we've gone through all of our colors, I just want to show you, these are the bobbins that I make. They're called butterfly bobbins. This is the main color, so you can use it right from the roll itself. And if this is a project that you've never done before, if you've never done anything like this before and it makes you a little bit nervous, please watch the entire video first before attempting it. The hook I chose is a 5mm, just because all of this is kind of all different, but it's all in the range of 5 to 5.5. So I just decided to do a 5mm. So this is built flat. And then we put it into this shape. So it's easy peasy. So let's jump right into this. You can start with any color you want. The base color will not show because we pull and pucker. I think I'm just going to use white to start. So you're going to make a chain 50. So that is my chain 50. We are working in half double crochet, so you're going to skip the first stitch and into the second stitch we're going to start instantly doing our colors. So we're going to do 3 white and then we're going to switch to orange. On my last half double, I'm going to switch to my orange. So you instantly get to choose which is your back, which is your front. You have to weave everything in, carry everything with you. And then with your orange, you're going to do 3 half doubles. And then we switch again. That's why you have to carry your yarn. It gets easier as we get out of this chain area. It is just awkward because we're still working the chain. So alternate all the way down. 3 orange, 3 white, 3 orange, 3 white. So this is what you should have. That's my back, and this is my front. So that's the beginning. I'm at the end here. Now, I have to start my second row with orange because I am going to repeat this row again before we change. So each row is going to be repeated twice. So I'm not switching to white here. I'm just going to keep with my orange. So we just follow along with the colors that we have. I'm just weaving in my white because I need to go to it. So, and then you just follow along with your colors. Pull your orange to the back and then change to your white. And then we weave in our orange. Again, this gets easier as you go because you're going to have a little more things to hold on to. And then 3 orange. And then at the end of this row, we're going to change to the wine color. So we have to change to our wine color for this row. But the row starts with orange. The wine goes on the orange and the orange goes on the white. So now for this next row, the next 2 rows, orange goes on the white and the wine goes on the orange. So on our last stitch, we just leave that hanging because this is my back, this is my front. So I'm just going to leave that hanging instead of pulling it over. And then I'm going to do my 3 wine. Change to orange. And then just do the same thing that we did with our orange and white. Alternate every 3rd stitch. So it goes a lot faster now because you've got a little more substantial stuff to hold on to. At first it's always awkward because you got nothing to hold on to. You're just trying to work with a chain but once we get going, so I'm at the end and I am doing my 3 wine, and I have to start my next row with wine because I'm just following the same colors. I'm going to drop the orange back here. I'm not going to take it with me all the way to the end. I'm going to chain and turn my work. Now all this stuff you see at the back, I'm going to leave it just there for now, just so I know that that's my back. And then you just follow along with your colors on this row. So I'm coming up to the last bit and I need to change my wine to white. Well, it'll be my orange. So I'm not taking my wine with me. I'm just going to do the orange and leave my wine hanging. And on my last stitch, I'm going to go to my white and make sure my white has a decent tail for weaving in. Chain 2. Now grab both your white and your orange and turn your work. So this is the start of our pattern. So this next couple of rounds is going to be the orange and the white again. So we're following now this pattern. White goes on the orange and the orange goes on the wine color. So I'm all the way back to the other side. I'm not weaving in my white for the last 3 stitches. I'm going to just keep with my orange. So I am at the back of my work, but I think you get the gist of what we're doing. So follow your colors. So I'm all the way to the just about the end of round 6. And I have to start round 7 with orange. So I'm going to carry it. This is the only time we carry our yarn right to the end. So I'm going to go to orange right at the end of my row. Now, even though I am done with my white, I am going to weave it in. I'm going to weave in my white on these first 3 stitches, and then I'm just going to let it hang while I switch to my wine color. So I'm at the end of my row, Round 8 starts with the wine color, so I am just leaving my orange hanging there. Chain 2, turn your work. So, get everything unknotted. We start with the wine color. We just layer our colors. And then at the end of this row, we're going to switch to our orange-white row again. So our next round we switch to white. I have very little to weave in as far as my wine color. So this looks slanty, and it's just because of the way we crochet, but we'll stretch this all out later before we make it a pumpkin. So this row is just going to be your white and orange. So white goes on the orange goes on the wine. So I'm at the end of row 10. I'm switching to my white. I need to start the next row with orange. So again, this is the only row, orange and white rows, that I actually weave to the end. And the next round is going to start with orange, but we're going to incorporate the wine. So round 11 starts with orange, and then we go to the wine color. So because this is a short, you're going to see the written pattern in the description box below, and it explains that the WH stands for white and the W stands for wine. So the pattern will be below in case you're wondering why everything is going so fast. This is just meant to be a short. And for the next 2 rows, I'm going to make sure that my wine is over my orange. So that's the easiest way to say it. And my orange is over my white. So I'm at the end of row 12, and I'm going to be switching to my white. So I have to start my white on my next row. So this last stitch. Gets finished with the white. Round 13 starts with white. That's the row we're on. Again, we're going to round 18. And now we do 2 rows of orange and white. So your orange goes over your wine and your white goes over your orange. So I'm at the end of round 13. I'm starting round 14, and I am not changing colors. I need to do my second row of the exact same colors. This goes to round 18. So I'm at the end of round 14. We are starting round 15. So it starts with orange, and then we change to our wine color. So orange wine, orange wine, orange wine for the next 2 rows. So I'm at the end of round 16. We've only got 2 more rows to go. I'm just finishing up the last row. I'm going to change to white. And then we're starting round 17. We're only going to 18. So these last 2 rows is going to be it. So we start with the white. The white is on the orange, and the orange is on the wine. This is my very last row, round 18. So my PDFs are offered to members only, generally. But this short is for, you know, a cute little fall project. So I thought that I would share the PDF with everybody, not just members. So when you go down into my description box below, you need to click on that link for the PDF, and it will open up a PDF file for you to get the pattern. If you do want to get access to the rest of my PDFs, you'll have to join the channel membership, and the lowest rate is $2.99. You get all the same stuff. It's just, you know, how much you want to support my channel. I also have an orange gingham pattern in my merch shop with a gnome on, you know, t-shirts, bags, lots of bags, hats. It's a cute design. I design all my own stuff for all my stuff that I sell in the merch shop. It's all my own design. So, I just got to make it look straight again. It tends to look crooked when you're done. So, we're not going to fasten off because we're going to slip stitch the 2 ends together. I've got a bit I've got to weave in before I slip stitch these 2 ends together. So I just want you to weave in. Now you don't have to weave far because this is all just getting sewn together, so just kind of weave it out of the way of where we need to get into with our hook. If you think this will look better sewn shut, you can do that too. I'm just going to slip stitch because really you're not even going to see that part after we do what we do with it. So stretch your work out a bit. It's got these stitches all nicely relaxed so you can get a better idea of this pattern. And it's not so not so crooked because we go back and forth. So with the bad side out, we're going to slip stitch these 2 ends together. There's no stitches here, it's just raw. And slip stitch all the way, oops. Slip stitch all the way across. So I know you just sticking your hook in anywhere, but try to keep the slip stitches pretty close together. But you're just kind of ramming your hook wherever it goes in. So fasten off. Let's weave this in. We're gonna get orange to do our cinching. So grab some of your orange, make a slip knot on one end, and then put a needle on your other end. Same spot that you just sewed. So you're going to put that through and you're going to go through your slip knot. Pull that and then make a knot. We're going to go in and out on the posts, weaving in and out like this. Try to stay just under the stitches. So I'm back around to where I started, and I'm going to pull. So I'll close it up as much as you can, and then weave again around that hole. I'm going to try to close it up some more. If you've ever done hats with me, then you know what I'm talking about. Weaving just around this hole, right at the very top of the hole. Pop across, make a knot both ways. So stuff it part way. Get another piece of orange. Make a slip knot. So you don't want this to be too full. You don't want this to be rock solid full. Do the same thing you did on the other side. Just kind of weave around this hole, trying to close it up a bit. So make your knots. So I only stuffed it part way because this gets pushed down to the other side. So go down and out the bottom. You're going to do that twice. And now we're going to wrap. So we're still going to go up the bottom to the top. But now we're wrapping these pieces around and we're going to pull to suck it in. And then pick your next spot. Go up like a big whip stitch. And hopefully you got a longer sewing tail than me. So I'm going to tie these pieces together, but I'm going to do it down here because we put a stem down here and nobody's ever going to see it. So I've made a knot, but it's not that tight. Anyway, I'm just going to kind of hold this down and then do my last go. I'm just going to finish tying this, and that should be enough to hold it. Hopefully you don't have this problem. So because I've had to do all this tying down here, that's where I'm going to put my stem and my leaf. But you can choose whatever side you want to use for yours. So get your brown, whatever you're using. You're going to do a magic ring of 6 single crochets. And yes, this is still in fast motion because it's still a short. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets in each stitch around, giving you 12 stitches. Your next round For the next 4 rounds, you're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of these 12 stitches. And that is it. So you can fasten off and sew to your pumpkin. Stuff it a little bit. I'm going to cinch this closed. I think it'd be easier to sew it. So that's what you see me doing here. I'm pretty sure everybody knows how to cinch something closed if you're a crocheter. So now that it's cinched closed, so grab any green color you want, chain 6. So I want you to use a stitch marker so you can kind of play along, especially since I'm in fast motion. Your first marker, you're going to do, your first stitch gets the marker, sorry, you're going to do 2 single crochets. Your next stitch is going to be a half double. Your next stitch gets 2 double crochets in the same space. And then this last stitch, well, it's not the last stitch. The top stitch is going to get 2 double crochets, a chain 2 picot, and 2 double crochets all in that same space. So we're going to be working on the other side of this chain. So right next to your slip knot, you're going to go into that stitch and you're going to put 2 double crochets in there. Your next stitch is going to get a half double. So we're just doing the exact same thing we did on the other side, but backwards. And then these last 2 stitches, they're going to get single crochets. And all these holes you can see up the middle, we're going to get into those and we're going to slip stitch all the way up. And even into this point. And we're going to fasten off. With a sewing tail, this point is not the top of the leaf, it's the bottom of the leaf. And then we sew that in wherever you want to. I do make sure that the leaf is not sitting up. I want it to be laying down a bit. So thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you like this cute little fall pumpkin that we just did. And I'll see you guys in the next video.